On March 14th, the official account of Guiyang Metro Line 3 in China announced that in celebration of the 315 International Consumer Rights Day, a food company in Guiyang had partnered with the metro to offer a promotion. Passengers boarding at Huaguoyuan Station could receive a gift package that includes a pack of freshly stir-fried Guizhou spicy chicken, 3 packs of prickly pears, a breakfast box, a Brand's Diamond membership card, 10 vouchers for 50% off spicy chicken, and an apron, totaling 108 gifts. After the announcement, many residents of Guiyang eagerly waited in line at the station to receive the gift package. As the metro train arrived at the station and the doors opened, elderly passengers rushed into the carriages. Some slower passengers were unhappy with the pushing and almost started a fight. Police officers were on site to maintain order, preventing anyone from falling into the gaps. In a video, a woman was seen wearing only one shoe, having lost the other while jostling for the gifts. Regular commuters on Line 3 mentioned that the passenger flow that day was 10 times higher than usual, with many elderly passengers arriving as early as 8 a.m. The crowds were dangerous. One resident noted that the carriages were packed mostly with elderly passengers who might not usually take the metro, but who came specifically to receive the free gifts. Incidents of Chinese people rushing for goods are not uncommon. In February 2024, a video titled "Chinese Frenzy at Tokyo Disneyland" went viral online. The video showed a group of Chinese people crowding into a Tokyo Disneyland store and frantically grabbing Duffy Bear plush toys. Despite the loud warnings from the Japanese staff, the Chinese tourists continued their shopping frenzy, clearing the shelves of Duffy Bear products within minutes. A female Japanese tourist who filmed the scene stated that there were many people speaking Chinese, but there were very few Japanese present. Few could have understood the staff warnings spoken in Japanese. She described the scene as terrifyingly crowded, with people unable to enter the outside and too scared to push in. Some spectators also noticed what appeared to be professional Chinese shoppers buying box after box of Duffy Bears, presumably for resale. To prevent scalping, Tokyo Disneyland has implemented purchase limits. Elderly Chinese are notoriously enthusiastic about discounted products. In December 2023, at a supermarket in Kunshan City, Jiangsu Province, radishes were on sale for 0.6 RMB per kilogram, approximately 8 cents in US dollars. Elderly shoppers almost cleared them out in a few chaotic seconds. The video's narrator lamented, "Not being able to buy is a small matter. Safety comes first." In August 2023, a supermarket in Baishan City, Jilin, decided to offer eggplants at a super low price of 0.6 RMB per kilogram. The eggplants were sold out in just 3 seconds. According to witnesses, as the eggplants were being shelved, one elderly woman suddenly flew across the room and snatched the eggplants from another elderly woman. This resulted in a shoving match between the two women, leading to a brief loss of control of the situation. Later, a young man attempted to separate the two women, but was insulted and attacked by one of them. The woman, facing the stares of onlookers, used foul language and verbal attacks. Supermarket staff broke up the fight and calmed down the angry customers. The supermarket stated that they would investigate the incident and enhance security measures. On October 25, 2022, in Liuzhou City, Guangxi Province, a supermarket offered discounts on pork. Elderly shoppers rushed in, creating a spectacle of the elderly people's 100-meter dash. The bargain hunting craze has not only infected the elderly, but also the young. Bloggers sing the praises of discount stores or online flash sale platforms. Like many young people born after 1995, Chen is a bargain hunter. Shopping at a discount store in Xi'an, Chen told a reporter, "Look, this 200-gram bag of chicken feet usually costs around 25 RMB, but here you can buy it for less than 20 RMB. And this bottle of soda, normally priced at 8 RMB per bottle, is only 3.9 RMB here. Since the quality and shelf life are not issues, why not save money?" These young people have rejected conspicuous consumption for what's called reverse consumption. Gen Z, like Yang, have started researching how to shop for bargains. She first looks for reviews on social media, then buys trial sizes online. She also watches videos comparing prices. Lee stopped his overspending cold turkey. After graduating with a master's degree, Lee changed jobs multiple times. He was an exhibition personnel, cinema ticket taker, sub-district office recruiter, and high school library manager, but none of the jobs lasted more than a year. As a result, he numbed himself with spending, as if he was just killing time. However, now Li has become more restrained in his consumption and has begun advocating for frugality on social media. Young people are becoming more sober in their spending. As most people begin to adopt a frugal mindset, major e-commerce platforms have launched channels that focus on low prices. Under the guidance of this reverse consumption concept, discount retail platforms have become popular choices for young people shopping, and soon-to-expire products are increasingly accepted by young people. Nowadays, both the elderly and the young are penny pinching. Why is this happening? The most obvious reason is that Chinese people are all out of money. In January 2024, the People's Daily published a Q&A with Lan Fuan, Party Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, on the current economic and financial situation in China. Lan Fuan revealed the fiscal policies of 2023 and emphasized belt-tightening, and said that not a penny of unnecessary spending should be made. In addition, Lan Fuan mentioned that the fiscal deficit rate at the beginning of 2023 was arranged at 3%, but due to heavy rain, floods, and typhoons across China in the middle of the year, an additional 1 trillion yuan, approximately $140 billion of national debt was issued in the fourth quarter. Correspondingly, the fiscal deficit rate increased from 3% to about 3.8%. In 2023, Xinhua News Agency reported that in the third quarter of 2023, fiscal data showing negative year-on-year growth in consumption tax, corporate income tax, personal income tax, stamp tax, resource tax, and other tax revenues from January to September. The real estate market is sluggish, and government revenue from land sales has decreased. From January to September 2023, local government's budgeted income decreased by 16.3% year-on-year, with revenue from state-owned land use rights transfers decreasing by 19.8% year-on-year. According to the Ministry of Finance, as of the end of August 2023, local government's total debt balance was about 38.8 trillion yuan, about $5.4 trillion. According to UBS Switzerland's estimation, at the end of 2022, the balance of debts of local financing platforms was 59 trillion yuan, about $8.2 trillion. Among them, about 73% are the hidden debts of local governments, and the rest belong to commercial enterprises. The 3-year pandemic has changed the lives of many people, and the scarcity mindset developed during that time has become a norm. Due to the lockdowns imposed by the Chinese Communist Party in the previous years, people are afraid of going without essential goods, and this fear seems to continue in 2024. In 2022, Shanghai faced shortages of goods due to pandemic lockdowns. Faced with the difficulty of getting groceries, the morning rush to shop became a must-do for Shanghai residents. In Shanghai's Pudong district, many supermarkets often saw 200-meter queues. Vegetables were often sold out, and the produce section often turned into a battlefield. During the pandemic, grabbing groceries became a survival strategy of the Chinese people. However, some scholars believe that from a deeper perspective, the habit of grabbing can be attributed to the historical reasons created by the Chinese Communist Party. Historians point out that in the 1950s and 1960s, China experienced a rare famine with a death toll of at least 20 to 30 million. This famine was completely caused by policy decisions by the CCP. In the early days of communism, people could only eat at public canteens, were not allowed to store food at home, and private assets were basically unconditionally turned over to the state. Moreover, due to China's push for large-scale steel smelting, many farmlands were abandoned, leading tens of millions of people to starve. Today, most of the people who fight for food are the elderly, many of whom have lasting memories of that time. The Destroy the Four Olds movement of the 1960s aimed to eliminate the so-called old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. Statues of gods and Buddhas, archways, stone tablets, and cultural relics and classics from all over the country were destroyed or looted. Moreover, socialist communism promoted the equal distribution of wealth, but did not lead to an improvement in poverty, crime, and overall morality. Instead, it made the Chinese people poorer and increased the crime rate. This ideology advocates for the equal distribution of benefits, allowing individuals to receive free goods even without working or contributing. This notion gradually became ingrained in the minds of the Chinese people, leading them to believe that they should seize any opportunity for gain and acquire wealth, as everything should be communal. This situation has resulted in a general lack of trust among Chinese people, leading to a lack of emotional connection, moral values, and even family members and neighbors betraying each other. Civil-mindedness has declined, as have intellectual pursuits and thoughtful literature. Combined with historical periods of scarcity and fear, this has fostered a culture of selfishness. With no tangible cultural framework and lack of cultural moral guidance, Chinese individuals, accustomed to periods of deprivation and fear, have instinctively resorted to aggressive acquisition. This phenomenon explains why many Chinese, when presented with opportunities for personal gain, will seize them without hesitation. Associate Professor Li Yuanhua from the School of Education Science at Capital Normal University also holds the same view. He said, traditional Chinese culture emphasizes benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faith. However, today's Chinese government educates people to abandon traditional culture. It does not allow you to respect, honor, or cherish the history of 5,000 years of civilization. It distorts, misinterprets, and even distorts history, turning the Chinese, a nation with history and excellent traditional culture, into a nation without history or culture. Therefore, China, once the land of etiquette, has now become an alternative and strange society that is incompatible with normal societies that adhere to universal values. Sadly, many people in this environment are unaware of this. Confucius was an ancient sage and is revered as a saint. However, when contemporary Chinese mention Confucius, they do not have a sense of reverence. The CCP promotes Confucius institutes overseas under the guise of restoring traditional culture. However, what they preach and do fundamentally contradicts Confucian philosophy, becoming a propaganda tool for the CCP. Observers say that in today's Chinese society, people lack a sense of stability and security. They fear returning to the days of having nothing to wear and nothing to eat, so they hoard, compete, and grab. This mentality manifests not only in the poor, but also in the landed classes, albeit in different ways. In Chinese real estate, to get land, they spare no effort in bribing officials, obtaining large amounts of bank loans, and selling units without setting a price cap. As long as one company does it, other real estate companies will adopt the same method to compete. It seems that the Chinese people have gotten worse as history progressed, but tracing it back, it is actually due to the CCP's long-term brainwashing and planned destruction of moral standards.